Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with a special episode of Real Estate Uncensored. We are live here on the Coach's Corner on Top Producer, and we have a special guest here with us today, and we're going to get to him in a second. We're talking about accessing your genius, a framework for solving your own problems. I'm really, really excited about the content that we're going to cover today. We've got a special guest who's going to go super deep with that today with us and tell us about how we can develop a framework for solving our own problems and essentially become our own coach. It's really, really interesting stuff. And we'll get to him in a second. But first, allow me to welcome in my esteemed colleague, the junior grandmaster himself in the co-pilot seat, doing his best to be tame, Greg McDaniel.
I really am holding back right now. I'm like, just hurry up and get to my part, Matt. That's everybody knows this is the best part of the show when I get to start talking. Now the show can officially start since I am here. I feel like dog crap, warmed up, stepped on by a boot, and then hit by a Mack truck. But I showered for everybody on this show. I showered, Matt. You know how big of a deal that is? You know me. That's a big deal. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So I've heard it's quite a feat for you to drag yourself from the hobo encampment you call a bedroom into the bathroom to shower.
You mean the next room over?
Exactly. All right.
Whole 10 feet of walking. Oh, the horrible things in life, the tragedies I go through. Oh.
So 14 days of not feeling well. I can't blame you too much for feeling under the weather. So.
Oh, God. Right. Well, and the good thing is I'm on the mend, and we got a kick-ass show with some amazing guys. So I'm super pumped, man.
Yes. All right. Well, speaking of amazing guys, let's bring in our special guest, Keith Cornies. Keith, how are you?
Great, thanks. How are you guys doing?
We're doing awesome. So, Keith, for those that don't know who you are, and there's going to be a lot of people here who probably do know who you are already, but for those that don't, can you give us kind of a 60-second bio on who you are, where you are, and what you do?
Sure. Well, I'm a broker owner of three Remax franchises out here in Vancouver. I'm a 22-year realtor, no longer licensed in selling. I'm a full-time life and business coach. I've been doing that for 7 years with AIM coaching, which means Achieve Individual Mastery. So it's a personal growth coaching that's also crossed over with business. I've got over 15,000 hours of one-on-one coaching that I've done with clients with this solution-focused coaching, which is a model of coaching that is, I'm not the expert in your life. I just tap into your genius so you can access what you need to find your solutions for your problems and situations so that you can grow and develop a business that you can trust and love working at instead of a business that you're not sure of. And that's what I do. And I've been doing that for 7 years with great success. And yeah.
Very cool. So
awesome.
Let me ask you this. I mean, coaching people inside and outside the real estate industry, do you notice any differences between coaching the average real estate top producer versus top producers in other industries?
Well, I'm coaching the brain all the time. So I love the neuroscience of the brain, the development of the brain, also the cognitive behaviors and cognitive thinking. So is there a difference between top producers in the real estate industry and the other industries? No.
Nice. All right, good. Well, that answers that question.
Got that one.
Exactly. Dead end. All right. So first of all, let's welcome in our special super secret guest that we didn't tell anybody about, Colin Burton from Top Producer. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. All right. So if anybody has any questions, if you are watching this on the Top Producer Facebook page, if you have questions about any of the awesome integrations that are coming out or any of the specials, anything that's going on in the world of Top Producer, Colin is your man. He's keeping an eye on the chat. He can help you out. Colin, where's the best place for people to go for just more information and especially information on kind of the latest stuff that you guys are working and coming out with?
Yeah, so our blog is a really good place, topproducer.com/news. And then we've got a new content hub that is brand spanking new. I just got to figure out with a link. I'll post the link afterwards, but it's basically a bunch of videos and guides and white sheets that we've done up. So I'll post the links to a couple resource places in the comments.
Very cool. Awesome.
That's awesome. What kind of white pages are you guys putting out right now that are different or new for your viewers?
Off the top of my head, I think we've got some ones on open houses, a couple other ones. I'd have to look into that one on specifics. But a lot of good stuff is going to be coming out in the near future. So.
And there's some webinars that they can find on the Top Producer site /webinars that I've recently done with them regarding integrating technology into your business and the blockades to get around that, and also how to become the the digital mayor of your community, those kinds of things. Some really good real estate stuff for agents to go in and just get some new insights and learnings on. So there's lots of stuff there.
What have you found the one to be, Keith, one of the newest technologies or softwares or apps or something that you've seen to be really effective in your different brokerages?
The apps, well, to be honest, Top Producer Mobile is the one that a lot of my clients use because it gets them access to their clients wherever they are, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Other apps that they can use, any kind of an open house app where they can capture the leads is awesome. If they were to get like Open House Pro, they can actually link auto response email that's a video. So when someone comes in, registers, the email is automatically sent to them. And when they get home, it's like, if you would like to know what the sale of that house was, please contact me, those kinds of things. So those are two really good ones that I would suggest right now.
That's awesome. That is very awesome. We've been a Top Producer client for a long time. So yeah, it is one powerful system. I did not know about the mobile app though. I will have to pull my head out of whatever rock I've been hiding under.
It's got follow-up coach on there, so you can actually just, if you're anywhere, you can just tap on it, tap on follow-up coach. It pops up 5 people. You can text, call, or email right there. Register the follow-up. So if you're sitting at an open house, or if you're at an inspection, or you find you got some downtime at halftime at the kids' game, you can just go off, make a few phone calls, get back at it. So it just gives you the ability to stay in contact with your database. It makes it simple, right?
Can you contact off of social media as well, or is it tied into that, or is it just in the Top Producer database?
With the desktop, you can post to social media, but it doesn't connect in, like, kind of a tricky question. But it when leads come in, they're fortified with social data via 5 Street, and then through Top Producer, you can post your stuff to Facebook. But
on the mobile app right now, I don't think you can do that, but you can do it through Top Producer.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. That kind of answered that question. Awesome. So Matt, now that I took us off track as I usually do.
Wow. Yes. Keith, give us dive a little bit deeper into your background. So did you start off as a sales agent before you got into the ownership side? And what was your experience?
Yeah.
I mean, what did you like to do in real estate?
I was a top producing RE/MAX agent for probably about 20 years. And then I started my coaching about 7 years ago. And then when my passion started to shift towards coaching, then my sales started to go down, my focus changed. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to no longer sell. So I just started coaching people in my office. I was always a mentor type person. It's my passion to help people achieve their best. So it's always something I did. But when I did it originally, I did it through telling. Telling is yelling. And now I do it through tapping into their genius and helping them create their businesses. So it's way more powerful. So I did that in transition for the last 4 or 5 years, and that's when I bought the franchises with partners. And I've been a top producing agent, member of all the top producing clubs. I can name them all off, but it doesn't matter because I think that's irrelevant.
Yeah. But it is important for people to know that you've been in their shoes before. So the stuff that you're sharing is developed out of not just knowledge, but experience in exactly what our audience is going through, which is how to, on a practical level, just how do you build a real estate career that's fulfilling, enjoyable, you have clients that you want, it fits your lifestyle, and all those different things we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's the real shit. I got my feet dirty and my nails. I got dirt under my nails, so we're good.
Yeah.
Good.
What I talk about is real stuff. I don't have a magic pill, but if you want to do the work on your life and you want to do, I've made tools really simple. Like Steve Jobs, motto of making it simple, you can change the world is what I've done. So I've taken a lot of the verbiage out of a lot of crap just to make it simple so people can achieve success quickly.
Finally, man. Finally. There's so much bullshit out there that makes it so convoluted. It sounds like you've just stripped away all the fat and all the crap, and you're just like, here are the nuts and bolts. This is what you got to do. If you're going to work, this will work, but you have to work. What's the old saying? It's simple, but not easy. It sounds like that's kind of your mindset, right?
Don't hire me if you don't want the truth.
I knew I liked you. I liked you.
All right. So give us a quick definition, Keith. What to you is the genius?
Well, the genius is all of your life. It's everything. It's like it's so hard to explain sometimes, but if I make it real simple, you're the witness to your life. Everything that you've done, everything you've experienced is stored up in your brain. And those past experiences can affect you in a positive or a negative way. So your genius has been the one that got turned down at the dance in grade 7, got broke up with in grade 8, and has been marketed to, 400,000 times a year for the last, my 50 years. So it's taking in all the information. When I coach kids in sports, I really tell them to use their peripheral vision to look, on the edges. And your genius is like a peripheral genius. It's taking in information, and when it's taking in that information, it's running it through a filter, and that filter is your genius. It's your perceptions, it's your beliefs, it's your realities, it's your truths, and they can be very dysfunctional for you to succeed in life, because they're all based on fear, and they're all based on, coming from a place not of deprivation, scarcity, not a place of, I'm an old hockey fighter, so I spent a lot of years in junior hockey. So the guy that you have here that's going to talk about, meditation and talk about, having mantras, I've gone through this transition. I'm not just talking shit here. I've done the work. It was about 15 years ago where my bags were packed on my door, and my wife wanted me out. And being a warrior, I did the work on myself, fought through, and today my family's together, and we're a 10 out of 10, and life's great. But to get there was a ton of hard work, and my learnings and what I learned was how not to be and how to be, and then put that in with coaching 15,000 hours and watching people, take the things that I did. My goal is they don't need to go through 7 years of counseling like I did. I can make it simple for you. I can help you go there. You don't need to cry your tears every week. I got addicted to counseling, and it was great. And then I got my own life coach, which was massive. A solution-focused life coach really changed my life, and I still get coached every week today. So, I don't just coach, I am coached, and I believe in coaching.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that as well, Keith. Matt and I were talking to one of our other guests recently about this exact thing. Coaches have coaches, and it's not a bad thing. It's an honor to have a coach. It's not. A lot of people view it as a weakness, like, oh, I'm not perfect. I don't have everything perfectly put together. But congratulations, welcome to freaking life. You're not going to have it all put together. It's not a Disney movie, okay? Life can suck ass at times, and you need to accept it and be okay with it, and then take whatever kind of feedback or tutelage that you can receive, become better, so you don't stick your finger back in that light socket. So I think that it's important for people to realize that too.
Oh, absolutely. Coaching isn't coming from a place of needing. It's coming from a place of wanting, wanting to be great, wanting to be better, wanting to have a better life. Like if you feel that you're hiring a coach, because, everyone always says, hey, I got a friend, you should coach my husband. It's always coming from a place of, I'm good, but everyone else needs to be fixed. And it's interesting. And nobody's broken, first of all. Nobody's broken. Like everyone has everything they need. It's just accessing it can be very difficult at times.
Well, we don't know about Matt. Matt's a close case right there. He might be broken.
Yes. Well, let's get into that. How can we fix me? So let's talk about the framework for solving your own problems. So Keith, let's just start at the beginning, and what is the initial step, or some of the initial steps that you take somebody through, or that you would encourage somebody to walk through on their own to access their genius and kind of start finding the answers for themselves.
Okay, so the most important part is, ask yourself questions, ask yourself difficult questions, make some space to answer them. And so, every session I start out with clients is I ask a question. So if you were to, for instance, this is a simplistic way of looking at it, but whenever I'm in a room with veteran realtors, I ask them, what's something that you used to do that was really successful in your business? And then they'll tell me what they did. And I said, and have you done it lately? And they'll say, no. And I said, well, why don't you do it again? And then they do it again and have success. Okay, so that's accessing knowledge they already have. So if you're to ask yourself a self-coaching question, like, what is a belief that I have about 2017 that's going to stop me from getting my success?
That's a good question.
So if I ask you both that right now, what's a belief that you have that's stopping you from getting to the next level? Tell me what your answers are.
Well, Matt doesn't think big enough.
Yeah.
Thanks for following.
Matt can tell me his own answers. He's got his own genius. Why don't you tell me?
You are not my genius, Greg. You stop it.
Are you sure, Matt? Are you sure?
No, I'm pretty sure you're not my genius, Greg.
So what's something that's stopping me from achieving my goals in 2017?
Your next level of your life.
To the next level in life. I don't really know. I mean, right now we're working extremely hard in the real estate business. We're brought on an ISA. We're reorganizing our database so it can be more fluid. Thanks with you guys' product. The podcast is expanding exponentially. Our projects are checking off.
Is it going to be the market? Is it going to be
No.
An outside influence? Is it going to be your lack of ability to get out of bed by 8 o'clock? What's it going to be that's going to stop you from getting to the next level? There's something that's going to stop you. What do you think that is?
My real bitchy manager. I mean, not Eileen, our office manager who, hates me. So
Perfect.
maybe that could be it.
Okay, so great. So now we got to go to the truth. Is that true? Does she hate you?
Oh yeah, she hates me.
Good. And with that thought, how does that affect your business going forward?
Oh, it's a nuisance. It's not a hindrance. It's a nuisance.
So what does it do? How does it affect you and your focus and your ability to be great?
Only way I can answer that would be saying some stupid answer like, I'm letting it affect me.
Sure.
I guess.
Affecting your self-confidence.
Right.
Right.
I don't
So
be around her.
What is the opposite of she hates me and it's going to affect my business?
She loves me and she brings me candy daily.
Great. So if you just accept that, what would you do differently instead of what would your self-confidence do? Just not giving the energy that she hates me.
Radically transform it, to put the energy in. The energy would shift into a more positive.
Great. And if you had that, what would be the first thing you would do that would take you to the next level?
Not avoid her.
Right. So if you don't avoid her, what's going to happen?
I'm going to go to the next level because I'm going to be concentrating on what I need to do to get there, and I'm going to have the right mindset around it.
Good. So now you're a choice. You can either choose to have a conversation with her or not. I personally, as your coach, would help you structure the conversation to go in there and go, so what is it you don't like about me?
Oh, she really doesn't like me. Trust me.
Yeah. What is it? Say, hey, what is it about me you don't like, right?
Oh, well, I know exactly what it is. I called her out. I called her out on the carpet about 2 years ago, and I talked to her like no other one has ever talked to her before in her entire life. She's also executive vice president of our company, and I called her on her bullshit, and she didn't like it, and she has no leverage on me, which pisses her off. So me calling her out, she hates because she rules with fear.
That's right, because she's threatened by you. Because guess what? Mm-hmm. Your brain is either going to be in threat or reward. And that's going to run through this. It's called SCARF. You can write it down on your pen, right? S stands for status. C stands for certainty. A stands for autonomy. R stands for relational. F stands for fairness. So she got pissed off because you challenged her, which was disrespectful. That's status. And then she was uncertain about why you were doing that. What are you trying to do to her? She felt like she had no control to tear you down in front of the room. Relationally, you're an enemy, and that's not fair. So she's in full hijack. She's in what we call the amygdala hijack, her emotional hijack. She can't even say hi without being angry now. So
no, she can't.
She sees you, she's in an emotional hijack. So what you have to do is you have to go back, show her respect, create certainty, give her some control, be a friend, and make it fair for her. Or you need to make some different choices in your life so that you can achieve your best.
I feel like I just got totally slapped. It's not her, Greg. It's you. You're the problem. Like, oh, okay, that's me. Damn
Is she going to make you money? Is she going to bring money and put it in your bank account?
No.
Good. So let's get her out of the way so you can put money in your bank account.
Good. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So now we can go further. But that's the kind of stuff I do, right? You had all the own answers to your own problem. All I did was ask questions.
That's good. It's a really good thing. A lot of people decide to try to talk at people, but I like your approach. Is the approach I take as well, is asking questions and understanding the root problem. Like you said, the answers are in my head. I just got to tap into it and think about them, in a different way, or be able to look at myself in a different way or a different manner, admit that I'm at fault, or I'm not stepping up to doing something that I need to do to get the end result. I think it's fantastic. My father taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
He always said, always stay in the state of curiosity.
Answer questions, because it can't be very easy to answer these questions on a live audience, right? And if you were with me one-on-one private, we would come away with the solution. You would implement it, and you would have the difference.
All I need is a Chase Lounge, and when we go off air, I'm going to lay down and we're going to talk. Get my inner demons out. Just go away.
All right. So give us that quick the acronym again. SCARF.
And it's not my work. It's work done by Dr. David Rock. And what he did is his work was about creating a rewarding or a threatful environment in the workplace. I took my genius and I put it in the sales genre, So, like when someone is angry at the negotiating table, they get a low ball offer, it's either because they've been disrespected or they're uncertain about what the people are doing. If you put them in reward by talking to each one of those points, you'll be able to have them go forward. You can close the deal, you can get their signature, but they need to be in reward. So it's S is for status, C is for certainty, A is for autonomy, which means self-control, having control or a voice in the situation. R is for relational, either a friend or an enemy. And then F is for fairness. So if it ain't fair, people will die on the sword if it ain't fair. I want my piece of the pie to be the same size as yours,
So to clarify, so that's kind of the mode that your brain is in. So as you're engaging with that person, then you need to bring them and cover off all those things. So you're not threatening them, you're not questioning their ability.
We all do it. It's actually, you're exactly right, Colin. Thank you. Because I have coached Colin, right? We had a meeting. And it's interesting because SCARF is the judgment. It's what you do 5 times every second. You're judging all the time if you're in threat or reward. It's the survival instinct. It's the fear brain. So it's going on every time. So how we lead that, not manage it, how we lead that. I can manage my emotions fine. I'll punch someone in the head if I'm angry. But if I lead where I want to close a deal, I'm not going to punch them in the head. So I lead my emotions to the end result. And the end result, which is the most important part, is my purpose, my legacy, and of course, the deal, my success. It all leads to one place eventually. And so this SCARF is a mechanism that your brain uses to figure out if someone's a threat or a reward. And it does it 5 times every second.
Wow. So what? Well, I guess I've talked a lot about body language and mindset before, and a lot of the stuff that I've done, and I found that there's 4 different. I want to get your opinion on this one, Keith, as well. Your brain has an automatic default to how you interpret people, and so there's 4 different interpretations. One of them, are you a threat or danger? 2, are you a friend? 3, are you a potential sexual partner? And then 4th, and which is the default, you're inadequate. You mean nothing to my life. And that's why there's not a love fest at Starbucks. Everyone's hugging each other and wants to get to know each other because you mean nothing to me. You bring nothing to my life. Are you seeing the same thing?
So I refer to it as autonomic systems. So if you slap your hand, you can't help but feel the pain because your nervous system is autonomic. It runs on itself. If you try to stop your heart from beating or you stop yourself from breathing, you can't. It's autonomic. It runs for itself. So there's autonomic systems set up in your life, and one of them is your thoughts. It's an autonomic survival thought, and you're right. Can I sleep with it? Will it eat me, or will I eat it? Threat, survival, all that stuff. Right. Absolutely. What I can coach you to do is to be present and aware of that. Don't allow that hijack to live your life. You then notice it. I'll show you how to notice it physically when it happens right away. I'll help you notice it and how you can control it, what you can do with it, and how you can then refocus it to get what you want. So you're really manifesting, you can take any piece of technology, tools, anything that this industry offers in real estate. If you're not the best tool to operate it, it's never going to work. So you have to do the work on yourself and recognizing and noticing, where am I losing my shit? How do I stay in control? And how do I lead that to what I want to get it? And that's all I really teach my clients to do. And they have their own answers. They know why they're angry. They know what's happened in their past. And it's not therapy. It's solution-focused coaching. Everyone tells me the problem, which is awesome. And the opposite of that problem is the solution. And that's as simple as it is sometimes.
I love that. That's a great way of looking at it.
There's I was grabbing a book here. So this one right here, Thick Face, Black Heart. This is amazing. Mark Mawhinney, who was a guest on our show here a while back, recommended this. And Keith, you pointed this out. But I wanted to bring this out. It's in this book again. Right off in the first chapter, she was talking about the importance of the inward state and how so many people it's a great mental framework or a belief system to have that anybody that does something, I can do it too. But when you go to model somebody else's success, you can't just model the outward actions. You have to also be able to model their beliefs, their emotional states that they're in. You have to be, because that person achieved something, other people can achieve it, but you actually have to be able to reproduce the full thing. You can't just take bits and pieces and expect to get the same result. And I think that's where that's where people miss it. And you still have to be able to go back and, like you said, Keith, either do the work on yourself, or you have to go back to yourself and say, okay, that person did that and that's great for them. But if I start with myself and what I can do, what can I do, rather than copying someone else? So there's a couple of different approaches.
Well, there is no common sense. There's common understanding, but there's no common sense. So watch this little drill we'll do. So I'm going to think of everyone in this chat right now. Think of the opposite of fear, what your opposite of fear is, and then say the word. And
confidence.
Well, okay, so what's yours? Go for it.
Confidence.
Okay, and
the opposite of fear, bold, being bold.
Bold. Mine is excitement, and yours is
The opposite of fear?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where this is going to go.
So we've got the same question with 4 different answers. So why do you think you'd be able to achieve my success the way I did it if you're different, right? So if I'm doing a seminar and I stood up and said, okay, everybody, the opposite of fear is excitement, and this is what you need to do, you would go away and try to do it, but it wouldn't work for you. You have to identify what it is that, that is your tailored way to your success. Everyone has a gift, okay? My gift is emotional intelligence. I'm a sensitive man with emotional intelligence. I know how you feel by your body language, by the tone in your answers. I feel it inside me. I know how people feel. And feelings run businesses. CEOs don't have feelings. Realtors are the CEO, the salesperson, and the I care person. And 2 of those are feelings, feelings, feelings. You want to have success? Learn about how to move your feelings through you so the focus and lens that you look through isn't muddied by bullshit. And there is no common sense. If I'm telling you how to have success, I'm an asshole. Telling is yelling. You know how to have success. When somebody climbs a mountain that has no arms and no legs, do you think you're inspired by his actions or his ability to deal with the negative thoughts to get through those to get there? That's what we're inspired by. His internal strength is what inspires us.
That's very true. I mean, it's very, very true, because he overcame something that I wouldn't do. And if I am an able-bodied human being, but this guy's got no arms, no legs, and he's climbing a mountain. I'm like, damn, home skillet's got some skills.
Well, and why did he not let the negative thoughts? Now, here's the thing. I don't believe in the power of positive thinking and fairies and unicorns. I believe in the power of not negative thinking.
Not negative.
Not negative thinking. Negative thinking.
All right, explain that. Yeah.
10 times more powerful.
No, I'm with you on that. Positive thinking has a uniquely powerful source in the universe and yourself and in everything else. Because you know what? Negative thoughts, I mean, if you think about negativity, you're going to get negativity. If you think about traffic accidents, you're going to get into a traffic accident or something along those lines. But if you think about, positive, good energy, in life and being focused on the good things in life, like when a high schooler, gets a zit for the first time, they're like, oh my God, I got this huge freaking zit. And they're like, oh my God, it's the worst thing on earth. But if that's your only problem, dude, seriously, you got a lot of good stuff going for you. So if you're able to re-engineer that and say, dude, this zit's nothing. I got my whole life going. I got all this other cool stuff going. Now that positive thinking is kicking in. Is that kind of what is that the direction you're going in?
I agree 100%. What I'm saying is I believe in positive thinking, but I'm not going to tell people just positive think, it'll be fine. Like dream that it'll happen and it'll come true. The truth is that the negative thinking is more prevalent because it's the survival brain and it's never going to shut off. So what we need to do is we need to shut off the negative thinking because it's got twice the power. If we can do that, we automatically shift into the positive. So when you tell me, the problems, I have a zit, and then I can refocus you and say, okay, on that side of your face, you have a zit. What's on the other side of your face or whatever? The truth is when you're stuck in negative thinking, you are so defocused, it's hard to get back on the positive thinking track.
Yeah, it really is. Then why do you think that they never have like Hug Day or Unicorn Day on the news? All right, guys, welcome to the Channel 2 News today. Today's going to be a great day. Everyone go and give each other a hug. It's a great day, National Hug Day. No, fuck that. It's like, you know what? It's going to be like, so there was a death, a rape, a murder, the stock market's crashing, and there's traffic accidents, coming out of your ears. That's all negative.
And then the commercial will be insurance for a car, and it'll be a diet plan, and it'll be everything that solves every one of those fears, and you'll be on the phone buying it right away.
Well, then you have a pill that will take away, a skin rash, but will give you irritable bowel syndrome with explosive diarrhea. Hey, you won't have an itchy skin, but you're going to be farting crap, uncontrollably. But this pill works. You're like, ah.
Fortunately, all of my problems can be solved by a Wonder Mop, so I'm good. All right, so Keith, let's get super practical, right? So let's bring it down to the level of where the average agent is at, and they have typically the same problem, or at least they believe they have the same problem, which is I don't have enough clients, right? So they have a marketing, they have a lead generation, they have a business growth problem. So how do you, what's the first step that you would lead somebody through, or that they can lead themselves through? What are some of those difficult questions to ask right off the bat to examine that business problem, make sure it's in the right frame, step away from the emotional state, and start really working out the problem?
Well, first I would change their language. A client is someone that is either in your car or you have listed for sale, period. A customer is somebody that you've had a conversation with that is leading towards becoming your client, but isn't a client yet. Everybody else is a lead, and a lead is an opportunity for success.
Okay.
So, I don't have enough clients. Well, if somebody's brand new, they've got a sphere of influence, they got friends, they got families. Most of them don't send out a sphere of influence letter because they don't want to seem schmarmy or salesy. So what they don't do is ask for the business. So they don't get the clients. So if you don't feel confident in who you are and you don't think what you're doing is changing someone's life, but you're being slimy by asking for the business, you're never going to have enough clients. So the first thing I do is I get them to find a beautiful, happy medium between being the silent agent and the slimy agent, which is a professional agent in the middle. And if you take that and embody that and put on a suit like you're a professional agent and you go out there and you ask for the business, Matt, seriously, do you want to sell your house today, bud? Because, I've got some great realtors I can hook you up with. It's about asking the business. And if you can't stand in that, then you're never going to have enough clients. Because what realtors will do is they'll pay huge money for a ton of leads and never convert them because they don't have the confidence to go for the close or ask for the business. Mm-hmm. Then they'll go online, find some magic dialogue, try the magic dialogue, and it doesn't work. Because when they give the dialogue, they're giving it from a place of you're not going to list with me anyways attitude. Mm-hmm. So first thing is attitude is the littlest thing that makes the biggest difference. So the first thing I would say is make a brag sheet about yourself, write down the good qualities and why you're good from previous life experiences, make a brochure that you're proud of so that you feel confident and proud of who you are, hand that to somebody and ask them, do you want me to help you find a home? Do you want me to help sell your home? Those are the first steps to getting clients. If you want more clients, then you have to create more relationships. Mm-hmm. And you can't create relationships on one model of, emails. You gotta get face to face, belly to belly with those people, build your database, build your clients up, do it with, there's great coaches out there that have great programs for client follow-up programs, but they need the clients first, right? Yeah. So you're talking, Matt, when you ask the question, like, what do you tell people that say I don't have enough clients? Well, that's usually someone from 0 to 5 years. And the 0 to 5 year people that I have that have had huge success, I've helped them build their confidence, not feel slimy about asking for the business. They go out, they door knock, they cold call, they ask their friends for the business, they go to the schools, they do some small investment, sponsorships, and they make sure that they're always there. And then they do the right things. And then they slowly build that database, put it on Top Producer, follow up with them every year, pop by, hold a client appreciation party. Those things fall into place down the road. The only way you're going to get a client is if you take a lead to a customer to that client, which of course is the lead funnel, which means you have to create relationships, trust, integrity. Why use me? And if you don't have the confidence and you don't come from a place of, I'm the best thing that you ever had, why wouldn't you use me? Then you're in trouble and you'll never build your business.
Yeah.
A lot of the times.
Greg Lyle said something to me. It's been a few weeks ago now, but he I think it was one of the best quotes I've ever heard from a real estate coach or anyone in the real estate business. It was, if you can't look someone in the eye, prospective seller or buyer in the eye, and tell them immediately in 15 seconds or less why they should work with you and not some other agent, you'll never be successful. Great quote. So I like the advice of, but you mentioned like the brag sheet, which is great. I mean, Greg, that's essentially what you're doing. Like when you're taking somebody through the McDaniel challenge, That's one of the things that you're doing. You call it helping them find their superpower, but essentially you're making their brag sheet for them. You're asking them questions. You're finding out what they were good at, what some of those things are that are their superpowers from either another industry or from nonprofit work or from sports or from their hobbies or whatever the case is. Like, you're helping them, you're taking them through that process because they need to find another source of confidence, right? So if you don't have the real estate knowledge and the business to be your rock of confidence, you need to find something else to be your source of confidence. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And I think what I like about the brag sheet the most is the fact that it opens up their mind to stop having the negative thoughts. Oh, I don't know what to do. I can't do it. I've never done it too. I'm a past rock star in X, Y, and Z parts of my life. I should tell everybody about it. It brings it back, that positive emotion that they feel inside of them. Then they get re-energized, and then they have the self-confidence to go out and tackle this new real estate game that they're into now. So I'm going to have all these people do brag sheets now. I love that. Love that.
One of the most powerful things I can say to my client, and they get it in the beginning, and after 2-3 years, like, I've never been fired. That's the problem. But I say to them, when are you going to see you like I see you? Right? So what I help them do is I help them see themselves, and I also help them identify their gift. Everyone has a special gift. Like, mine's emotional intelligence, right? Somebody might be a great listener. Somebody might be a great communicator. Somebody might have the gift, Matt and Greg, you guys each have an individual gift that brought together makes your success. You have to acknowledge your own gift, step into that gift, and then apply it. See your value, then sell your value. The hard part is seeing your value, because we're too busy being the critic. Remember SCARF? We run through that 5 times every second on other people, but we do it on ourselves harder. So we're the judge of ourselves, and we get judgmental, so we don't see our value. And then it's hard to sell what you don't see.
Yeah, it's very, very true. I mean, I joke around, but I always, I'm truthful about it a lot of the times. But in your mind, in your brain, up there is one of those toxic and dangerous places you can ever spend time. Because if you talk to other people the way that you talk to yourself, you'd go punch yourself in the face, because you're like, this guy's an absolute prick, and I can't. He should be institutionalized, put on medicine and put in a soft room, because this guy's a special kind of dickhead. But you're willing to do it to yourself.
And if you want to study something very interesting, there's the neurosequencing of how the brain's developed, and how, from an early age, the brainstem develops first, and it loves patterns, the heartbeat from the mom, the temperature of the womb. That creates predictability. Your comfort zone is the predictable place. That's why we love it so much. The next part that develops, not necessarily in a medical sense, but in the next part that develops is your emotional brain, your limbic brain. So if you have a good brainstem, then you develop your emotional, then you develop your language, then you develop your social skills. If you're weak in every one of those, you can work on each part. The whole thing is we're navel gazing all the time at all our faults, because we cannot be humble. Like, we're supposed to be humble. We're not supposed to brag. We're not supposed to be braggadocious. There's a word for you Americans. You like that one?
Braggadocious. Nice.
Braggadocious.
I've never heard that before.
It was Trump using one of
the Trump quote. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Thing, right?
It's not a real word. That's the joke, Greg.
But if you don't brag about yourself, who is going to? That's what I love about my AIM coaching programs. When I sell AIM coaching programs, I can do it confidently. But if I had to sell Keith Corney's, I would be a little bit more apprehensive and being as passionate about what I do. AIM coaching programs is amazing. It's changed lives, businesses. I work for, top 500 companies, and I'm dealing with, leaders that are getting paid, $4 or $5 million a year, and they're just like us. They're just like us. They're in the same mindset and the same thoughts. It's just what they do to get around them, or how they manage to have success while dealing with it. That's the difference.
It's interesting. A lot of people think that people in high level, positions, or people that have multi-million-dollar homes, that somehow that they're different. They're a different breed of a human being. But I think what you touched on right there was something very, very powerful. And the fact is that whenever you're going through a challenge in life, you have to understand that the people you're going to be talking to are fighting their own battles, whatever they might be, and they're looking something pretty similar like what you're battling right now. And if you can be empathetic and sympathetic and everything else, and just don't be pathetic, and you can own into the fact that You know, that other person is going through something. I can learn from their situation. A lot of people never learn from it. They're fearful of what the outcome is. They don't take it as a learning opportunity.
And if you don't think everyone's normal, look around. If we're all not the same, Disney's got it figured out. They can get us all crying. They just shoot Bambi and we all cry.
Just boom.
Boom.
Right,
and all of a sudden we attach that to the dramas of our life. It could be me with my daddy issues. It could be somebody else with their issues. It could be someone that lost somebody. It could be, whatever it is. We all are human, having a human experience, right? Mm-hmm. So we're all going through the same paces. I've done the work in the last 14, 15 years of my life. This guy that you're talking to now is not the same guy that was 14 years ago. And if you met me, you would be like, holy shit, this guy's completely different. And that should inspire you to go out and do the same. And now I own 3 brokerages. I run my coaching company, my investment companies. Things are going amazingly well, not because I'm better than anybody else. I have the ability to stay focused and not be defocused by my feelings and my emotions. And that's the number one thing in real estate. You get burned, the buyer, burns you, or the seller says, yeah, but lists with their brother, whatever it is. That emotional baggage is what's affecting you from going out and getting more clients. Now, the top producing realtors, one of them, a great mentor said, some will, some won't, so what, who's next? It was a kind of a cold way of just moving through and getting that feeling through me so I can be focused on the next one. But when we get feelings building up and building up and building up and building up, now your scarf, that vision of how you see the world, that threat mechanism is, so strong. So the work has to be done on being present and noticing your mindfulness of how you are, and then finding the problem, then asking what the solution is, then putting the actions to make the solution come to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And we always use next as well. Like, okay, well, that's a bad buyer. They walked away and they listed and they worked with the listing agent. Well, be thankful for those sometimes. Sometimes you don't want the clients, as much as that's so weird to a lot of agents when they hear that. But there are sometimes you got to thank yourself, even though you can't see the writing on the wall. You don't know why you didn't get that deal. For instance, we had this one agent. One client of ours that we'd worked with, help them buy and sell 4 or 5 homes or something. But then they didn't let us represent them when they were selling their home after they redid it. Well, we were pissed, really pissed. But then we found out that the construction was done subpar. There's been a 3-year lawsuit that we sidestepped, and so
you take that philosophy with a new agent, and they have an expectation that everyone's going to be honest and tell them the truth. And as something doesn't go right, they get disheartened. That's a disappointment. You take out the old disappointment jar and you fill it up and fill it up and fill it up till it becomes resentment. And then you can't even go out and sell because you hate people. So, you've got to learn how to deal with these feelings and these disappointments.
Yeah. And another way of looking at it is just stop bitching. Put on your big boy pants or big girl pants and get the fuck out the door and start doing something. Stop bitching at me and whining at me, because you know what? I don't care. I don't.
And be honest with yourself. If you make a mistake, be honest with yourself, put your head on the pillow at night and say, I lost that customer. I had poor communication. I had poor follow-up, and I don't want that to happen again. Don't just blame or, just go next. You have to really, take the time to look at the communication and the service and, what did I really do with that customer? And if at the end of the day, you could say to yourself, no, there's nothing I would have done different, then you go next and you move on.
Yeah. Absolutely. And if you can, go actually ask the client why you didn't get to work with them. That is some of the most insightful things you can do, because I'll talk to people that I didn't get a chance to work with, and I'll have done the whole cycling through of what could I have done better? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Blah, blah, blah. But I asked them Keith, help me understand, I know we're not going to be able to work together, but what did the other agent do more effectively where I failed? I'm always a student of my craft.
Yeah, what can I do better next time? I have a philosophy of WWW, what went well, and then EBI, even better if. So what went well, and then it would have been even better if I did what? Like my whole training with, I do what I call my success meetings. We start with a celebration. We have 3 celebrations we do, personal and or private. And then the next question is what went well that week? And then the next question is, it would have been even better if I, made more calls. Okay, great. That's your first task for the week that you're in. Then after that, how many leads do you have, and do you have enough to get your goals? And that's it. That's real estate simplicity. And just that success meeting every Monday that I hold with my 130 agents at my office, not one of them is making less than 100K, and I've doubled and tripled all their incomes because you're laser focused on the right things. You don't have a client, you have a lead. You don't have a client, you have a customer. You want to do 2 deals, you have nobody in your car and you have no listings and you have nobody in your customer pool. You're not going to have 2 deals. So let's just, take hope out of the equation. So many realtors hope that the people they met at the open house that they had a good vibe with are going to give them a call.
Yeah.
That's
true.
And you know what? You want to expedite success? Close them at the open house. Don't just get their name and number. Ask them if they want help finding a place. Take the bull by the horns and quit going back to your office and following up with 35 other leads that don't return your calls. Ask them right there. Clean it up. Get 10 no's. Get 10 no's and move on to the yes. Every no saves you time.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God. Have you guys read the book called Go for No by any chance?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a very small, simple book. It's on audible.com. It's an hour and 33 minutes. But it radically transformed the way I view prospecting and hearing the word no. So I don't go for a lead a day. I go for 25 to 50 no's so that I'll stay on the phone longer. I'll push through more because you never know how many leads you're leaving on the table if you just get that one lead and then stop prospecting for the day. And if I did that 10 people deep and I got 4 no's when I needed to get 25, who knows how many more leads are going to be in there. I do a lot of live circle prospecting on the lead gen scripts and objections group. If you guys aren't a part of that, go check that out. You'll see kind of what I do. And I changed my script from going, hi, this is Greg McDaniel with McDaniel Callahan Real Estate Team. I'm calling around today because I want to let you know about this home that just sold, blah, 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 like the traditional script. What I do is I go for the immediate no right off the bat. I say, hey, my name is Greg McDaniel with the McDaniel Callahan Real Estate Team. I'm calling around with one simple question. You guys aren't thinking about selling or buying or selling any real estate, are you? Then they say no, but I have had them say yes. And it gets me moving through my leads faster so that I can get more no's in a shorter amount of time. I had no idea how this is going to work. I pick up a lead or 2 every single time I use this script. So that's the
one thing I like to say about scripts is take them and then tailor them to your personality.
Because, 100%.
Because memes, how we speak, right? If anytime there's an incongruency, you break trust, right?
Correct.
So if I take your dialogues, which I love and appreciate dialogues, I really do, Greg. For me, I just want people to know, take the message, tweak it in your language, use it so that when you use it, it's congruent and it's congruent with the rest of your language once you start the conversations. That's all.
No, I'm 100% behind that on that. Scripts suck. You have to take them apart, put your own personality into them, and then speak them. But use them as a backbone of a conversation.
Yeah, they're training wheels. They serve a purpose, and then they don't serve a purpose anymore.
Exactly. But they're good to have on your belt, so that you can feel that confidence. Like, hey, I know what to say next. I'm not scared of what happens if they ask me an off-the-wall question. Well, you know what? They didn't stick to the script. Ah, shit, I'm screwed. No, just roll with the punches. Stay relevant in the conversation, So I think it's a lot. I think you and I think the 4 of us could sit here and talk for 2 hours and still not scratch the surface, Matt. But unfortunately, I think we're running down on time on this thing, unfortunately.
We are running down on time.
So what I'd like to say is, when I was a carpenter building houses, I could have the best chop saw, the best tools. And if I walked up to the site, dropped them on the site, and then went home and came back a week later and expected the house to be built, it's not going to be there. So you need the carpenter.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
it's so
great analogy.
Just going to drop them here and just, we'll see in like a week or so.
Where's the house? I can't believe the house isn't there. Those idiots didn't build the house.
Freaking tools! I paid $1,000 for these damn things. They aren't worth shit. You're like,
this chop saw was supposed to do everything perfectly.
I'm using that analogy.
Yeah, exactly. So, Keith, how can people take a step towards you and learn more about you?
Well, they can definitely go to myaimcoaching.com. And if they go to my services there, they'll find a link to the CEO's report, which is a goal-setting report, which I'll be giving away for free as long as they just give us their email. We'll send it off to them. It'll be a PDF. I'll be doing some webinars coming up. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out through my website. And if you want me to come and speak to your crews or to come to your offices, or, I've got a ton of programs around the neuroscience of the brain and helping people develop themselves as a better tool. And I'd love, the opportunity to come out and change some lives. So, just reach out through my webpage, www.myaimcoaching.com. And, there's some great tools you can download there. And it's also the ability to, communicate with me.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah. And so it's My Aim Coaching, MYAIM Coaching, My Aim Coaching. So, all right. And then for us on our side, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com is our website. We've got a couple things that to check out. Number one is Greg's favorite scripts. Like we talked about, they are training wheels. And so in that scripts PDF, which is free to download, we have links to YouTube videos where I had Greg go through every script so you can actually hear the phrasing and the tonality and get a feel for how he's adapted the scripts to his personality. That way you can do the same thing. So it's not just about copying word for word or copying Greg's phrasing and tonality. It is about adapting it to your own style, to your own genius, running it through that filter, and then spitting it back out into the world with your own spin on it. And then we've also got a whole training course on high-tech, high-touch real estate farming. That is there. That is I think it's a $99 course for 8.5 hours of content, where I basically took a giant watermelon, which is Greg's brain, and I threw it against the wall and grabbed everything that came out and poured it into this video course. So anyway,
sounds so violent,
those two things. I know it's very violent. Those are the two things to check out for our side. And then Colin, how can people find out more about Top Producer and what you guys have going on?
Yeah, stay tuned with our Facebook page. We'll be doing more of these Coaches Corner events, bringing in kind of each coach and kind of dig into their methodology, their ideology. So a lot more of that to come on our Facebook page, and sort of a bunch of content as well. So Facebook page, and yeah, just stay tuned.
Cool.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, this has been awesome, Keith. I appreciate you joining us. Greg, I'm glad that you are semi back from, or at least temporarily back from the land of the dead. And yeah, so for everybody else, make sure to subscribe to the show on YouTube or on iTunes or Stitcher, depending on whether you want the video or audio versions. And we will see everybody else on Friday. Thank you so much, guys.
See you guys. Love you.
Thanks.